1519 GMT, or 1119 EDT, the most powerful solar flare ever measured was observed on Earth. Then as we put that into Google and we start checking all the websites, we'll start to see that the times just keep changing. Here's another one. It says shock waves generated by the intense solar flare August 7th, 1972 at 1500 UT. UT is universal time. As you can see, Eastern Standard Time is 5 hours behind that, so something's wrong. They can't on August 7th. Nowhere up here does it say that. I know because I was awake. I remembered it. That's the one thing I remember. And this is a little video that they have up. It's a solar flare versus AT&T. The major solar flare that erupted on August 4th, 1972, knocked out long-distance phone communication across some states, including Illinois, according to NASA account. That event, in fact, caused AT&T to redesign its power system for transatlantic cables. NASA wrote in that account. So that's another date change. Then there's a video that's up on YouTube.
In 1972, the end of the Vietnam War was nowhere in sight. The United States was desperate to gain an advantage over their enemy in any way they could, as North Vietnam had just launched an offensive on the country's southern border. In the spring, President Nixon announced that the only way to stop the attacks would be by mining the entrances to North Vietnamese ports. And so the American Army hatched a plan, codenamed Operation Pocket Money. In it, 11,000 underwater mines were placed near the Haiphong port to block and hinder all maritime trade for the remainder of the war. These explosives were set to detonate with the pressure of the ships passing by. But on August 4th of that year, several of these mines spontaneously exploded, wreaking havoc in the Vietnamese port. Many officials were baffled and suspected that some sort of solar interference was the culprit of the explosion, but the research done on the event was highly classified. Decades after the war had ended, the information went public. A group of researchers from the University of Colorado decided to explore the incident much further. Their study, published in 2018, confirmed that a powerful solar storm triggered the mine sensors and led to the surprise explosions. The research has become fundamental for preventing another similar catastrophe in the modern world. Suppose a solar flare similar to the events of 1972 happened today. In that case, the globalized and technology-dependent world we've become so accustomed to could face significant consequences.
This video is about the so-called Rocky Mountain meteor of 1972, which was seen on August 10th, 1972, flew across from Salt Lake City to approximately Edmonton, Canada. Its perigee longitude was at 112.993 west, as shown in this diagram. It was photographed, the best photograph with a landmark was from Jackson Lake, Wyoming, which you see here.
Rare footage of a meteorite in flight was taken quite by chance in Alberta in 1972. We'll show it to you twice since it's quite short. The meteorite only broke up a little and seemed to have skipped through the atmosphere and returned to space, which was probably just as well, since it was calculated to be about 150 feet across and would have caused quite some damage if it had come to Earth. Most meteorites, however, break up